Hi, Dave Snyder here. It is the 27th or 28th of February 2015. And I want to solve this size thing once and for all, okay? The size that I use and the size that everybody else uses. Okay, so you see that I got this image pretty well aligned. I mean, it's not perfect, but you can see that it's not far off. There's China. You see that it's pretty close. And I've shown this before many times. You see India is just a little off, but it's roughly the same size. There's the Himalayas. You can see they're pretty close to being right on the money. Okay, so this is the size of that weather pattern. That's the actual size of the weather pattern on the Earth that day. It's not at all smaller, not at all bigger. It's right on the money, pretty close. I mean, I don't know how that makes sense, but yeah, pretty close. Close enough. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to overlay the lunar south pole here. And I've done this already. This is a perfect print of the lunar south pole. This pattern right here is absolutely perfect print of the lunar south pole. And I don't see how it can be any smaller than this. Really, I just don't. So I'm going to go ahead and overlay it. I'm going to try and make it fit there. It's not going to fit that well, but because it's kind of close to the poles, I guess. Not really. But the picture might be kind of big, so it might not fit real good. I've showed it before. It actually will fit perfectly over that pattern if I move it to the center of the Pacific. But I'm just going to leave it at the right size so you can see, solve this once and for all. Schrodinger. I mean, I don't see how it could be any different than what you see in the weather. If it fits the land, that pattern, I showed this before, and there's no question that it fits absolutely perfect. No question about it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put Schrodinger right over the Schrodinger pattern here. Right there, look, boom. It's going to go right there. Like that. And I just got to turn it a little bit. Get it lined up, this side lined up, like this. And I mean, that is the perfect alignment of that picture. You can even see the curve right here, like where the Himalayas are. Like this would be Everest, but it's not really lined up perfectly at the moment, but it's pretty close. Actually, it is pretty good. You see how that fits there just like that? How could it be any different than that size? I mean, that's the size you see it in the weather. I mean, I'll turn it here. You can take a look at a different view of it. Am I wrong? Is that not a perfect pattern? I mean, for just throwing it up there, I mean that's the way I see it, and it's consistent at this size. I don't change. I mean, I don't measure it when I put them up there. I don't check it for size. I know roughly the size that it should be, so I just use it roughly, which could be 100 miles off at times, and but it's not that far off, and it puts everything together this way. So how, this should be about 1,000 miles across all the time, roughly 1,000 miles. Schrodinger weather pattern should show it that size. Sometimes I've seen it show it a little bit smaller, but not very often. So I'm just saying, dude, there you go. I don't want to argue over something so stupid, but I mean, I'm not arguing over anything stupid. I'm just trying to show you. Look, I went through the same thing when I first started doing this. I was looking at the details too much. You look at the details afterwards. You line it up to the weather first and worry about the details. They'll fall into place on their own. That's the way I do it. I mean, they fall into place on their own. The close-up details. They don't even really give you very good details on here like they used to, anyways. I mean, they're so I don't know. It's kind of patchy, the way I see it. There you go. That's a good. And you see the size. That would make the moon either equal to the Earth, because this is just the lunar south pole. It's not the whole moon. This picture. It's just the picture of the lunar south pole. It either makes it at least a Mars-sized planet. But if this is 1,000 miles, that's 5 times bigger. 5 times? 5 times bigger than it is on the moon. Didn't they say it is on the moon, that crater? And if it was only 200 miles in diameter like they say, I don't think anybody would be able, the people on Earth would be able to see it back in ancient times without a telescope myself. And it had to be like this, because it's the way that the Cobra shows the right way and all that. I mean, in the Christ crater, if you believe any of that's true, whatever. If not, I mean, I'm just saying it's very close to being right on the money there. So anyways, I just want to point that out. It ain't a big deal. I'm just trying to tell you the details. If you start getting in close on the details, you'll find details that'll fit all day long. If you're looking real close at the Earth and the shapes of it, things, you'll find ways that'll. I used to do the same thing. That's all I'm saying. I used to do the same thing. I stopped doing that. I let the details fall into place on their own. I'll line it up to the weather, and I'll look later at the details. I mean, that's something that's basically secondary. But you can put the Earth together with it at this size. I don't see how you could do that with it any smaller. I don't think it would go together right. Plus, you see, Mare Oriental always shows itself large when, I mean, there'd be a weather pattern like that one I made a long time ago, that rant video that I made, where there was this cloud right here. I had Mare Oriental overlaid over here, and I'm looking at this cloud, and I'm looking at this crater, and I'm looking at the cloud, looking at the crater, and I'm going, fuck, look at that. I moved this over here, and it was right there, and it showed it the same large size. So I'm just saying, it's large. It has to be large. I don't see how it can be any smaller. It consistently shows itself at this size every time. I mean, where I'm building it down here at the supercontinent, it might be 100 miles too big. This one that I got down here, it may be 100 miles too big or whatever, but it's putting everything into place all by itself. It confirms itself every time I put something down. Like I showed her earlier, maybe I didn't upload the video yet, but it's let me show you the picture. Oh, it's up here, right here. This one here. And now this is roughly the size I seen this when I seen it to begin with. 2 years ago. It was, you see there, like I said, there's the Sahara. This is Spain right here, and Europe right there. Okay, so we're still seeing that same weather pattern at that size all the time. And then you bring up this is aligned to the lunar South Pole. It's like a perfect alignment to the lunar South Pole, showing the same size. Same size. Watch. I mean, there it is, and this is a little bit bigger. I think I've measured. It's like 180 miles too big, maybe than it shows in Russia. But this crater right here, you see this print here. I just line that up, and then the rest of it just falls into place. And you can see all the curves. It curves right here where Schrodinger is. It doesn't show Schrodinger, but it's a match. And then you start bringing up the other stuff I did in the past, and they have the same pattern. The whole thing. Here's one that I did I was going through my pictures yesterday, and this is one I found. Now this is a little bit too big. This picture might be a little, well, maybe not. It's just kind of stretched out long, but it's right in there too. This is the same pattern as what you see right there. That's the same pattern. And I got a whole bunch of these pictures of the same pattern that'll fit right inside that hole. So it's consistent. I mean, here I'll bring up Mare Oriental too to show you that it fits in there too, at that size. There you go. And I've shown Mare Oriental, the weather patterns with Mare Oriental so many times. It's another one you need to use. This one and the lunar South Pole, and even Imbrium shows the same size. They always come up this size. And like the big circular patterns you see in North America, you used to see in North America, those were, roughly the same size. And there's nothing on here I can use for an example at the moment, but that's I just wanted to show you that. Anyways, have a great day, great weekend, and all that good stuff. All right, man, later.